Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being here tonight on the Leap of Consciousness Telegram channel. I am Annie Kolatkar, your host, and with me tonight is the incandescent Kassandra Kuehl. She's an organic salon and product developer. She's a clinical hypnotherapist and quantum biofeedback practitioner. Kassandra has very generously offered to do a biofeedback group healing. Now, it's actually more than one healing because it's going to be on Sunday nights, and it's to clear investor fears that Nick Rangone on the QSI channel brought up. And then I did the fear clearings. And then these 5 evenings will be designated for using frequencies to support the release of those specific fears in your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual energetic bodies. And there'll be a short meditation towards the end. We're just going to explain it really quickly. This first video is a really important video. This is going to be a teeny tiny bit longer than the other 4 because we're going to give we're going to front load you with what this is all about. And then on the next successive videos, we'll just go right into the meditation. So these are designed to support releasing the discord that was created from the fears. And so she's going to create a before and after picture of the group aura. And then we'll post it so everyone can see the before and after. And then we can see the difference in our collective consciousness once we go through the meditative process, and our collective energy is then elevated, and it'll be a lot of fun to see that. So, all right, let's get started. Sandra, I think Kassandra, it would be great if we start with an intention tonight and create focus. So I'm going to share a screen here for just a moment, or maybe longer. We'll see. Let's do this one, and I'll read it in case there are those of you who are on phones and you can't see this. With intention, we create focus, and we do this individually and as a collective. Remember, conscious quantum connection. That is my spark of light connecting with Kassandra's spark of light. And together we are connecting to all of your sparks of light wherever you are in the world. And anyone else who watches this replay of this video on YouTube or on Telegram, their spark outside of time and space connects with our light. And then we're all adding this consciousness for things to actually be changed, be different as we transform ourselves and become the ripple effect in the world. So what would you, I see Kassandra is scanning, so she's getting an energetic picture of the group right now. And so what do we look like when we no longer have investor fears, right? We want to create an intention where tonight we're working on the need to be right consciousness. We're going to put a focused effort on the need to be right. And this was created from perfectionism, right? Remember that story? We have the pyramid of perfectionism with make wrong, and we have defending make wrong, and then we have self make wrong when we get it wrong, and then we beat ourselves up for not getting it right. And so there's a multitude of fears that come out of perfectionism, and it was all because we had the integrity police trying to make sure that we were good people. And this has been going on for millennia. And I'm sure it's not just on this planet. I'm sure it's everywhere. So as we take charge and take interpersonal responsibility for being our true nature of love, where we practice self-love and we don't beat ourselves up, and we don't have fear being expressed as a need to be right, and we release make wrong on deeper levels, we begin to approach the opportunities we want to create, the problems we want to solve, and the relationships we want to heal without that need to be right. And then, of course, it translates right into your wallet. Okay, so Cassandra, I am going to mute briefly. And would you like to add anything?
All right, sweetheart. Can you hear me okay? Annie, can you hear me? Just give me a yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So absolutely. So you can kind of play around with the play screen if you want. And I'll just kind of unpin and I like connection. So Annie, thank you so much again. So, I think what came to mind for me and what we are all about and what is ahead of us is, there's this habit we have to coming and checking Telegram or checking different aspects of news that we prefer to listen and look at. And it creates this habitual guidance towards, our heads down, and we kind of can easily get into swallowed up fear unintentionally of always needing to know what's next. And the way I like to explain it is everything that I do is designed to go 10 miles deep versus 10 miles wide. And so I want to invite everybody into that stream of consciousness of in the next coming months, how can we use short and concise time to pop resistance in the field, be able to see the unconscious and make it conscious. And then we collapse time together in the energetic field as well as individually. So I want to start with saying that this time is for youth. This time is not to know everything about lobster or what to figure out to do with investments or anything. This has nothing to do even peel it away from our wallet or blockchain. This really is time for you to go 10 miles deep, to pierce through this veil that we're consistently having to kind of pierce through, to strongly pierce through it and start to plan and cognitively and subconsciously start to create the vibration of what is it that you would love to create just because you love it. Not attachment or attachment theory because you want to run away from fear or because you need X, Y, and Z. And that's why I love Annie's consciousness challenges because it allows us to get really specific on one intention. And we'll continue to be specific moving out every single Sunday. And then we're able to see where the group collective is and then where you individually are to connect to what I pull up in the biofeedback machine. So the way I also like to layer it in is that you're always mapping out your limitless potential. So when we're asking the right questions, when we're intentional, we're encouraging the mind to really expand its mind map. So how we speak, how we act, how we vibrate is where your subconscious is always mapping out the solution in real time. So use this time to go deep, use this time to take a moment to plan out what do I need that one big thing to do this week to attach to my pierce in the veil to the other side of what I would love to create that creates health and wealth. We're laying that new ground and start to think about what would it be like? What would it look like? So within quantum biofeedback, this machine is used by MIT. The same data analogs are used by NASA. And so when we speak AEIOU, vowels, and the intention into my quantum biofeedback machine, we're actually picking up the entire facets. And Annie, you do have, I think, a picture of this on your document if you scroll down. Yep. So go down to the EOIOU and there's platonic solids. Just keep on scrolling down, I believe. Yep. Keep scrolling. Yep. Right here. So this is specific image is showing, how, energy works. It's how we moved huge pieces of land back in the Egyptian pyramids. They use sound frequency to move with force. And so when I speak into the biofeedback machine, what we're actually doing is we're bringing the vowels in that hit all biomarkers as far as the elemental aspect of the universe and ourselves. So if you scroll down a little bit more, Annie, it then gives a visual of, well, what are we creating a coherence in? And most of us know here that we are not separated from the universal energy field. So all of us being here together right now, we are connected. Our integration in the quantum entanglement is connected. And so we're connecting the bliss body, meaning the outer superconscious, the very, very outer. And I like to say that the superconscious has no emotion. It literally loves to create. It is creation itself. And then the super mental body, we're starting to move into the emotions that are stored in the field. So things that come up today, maybe even tapping into people in your home. So we're clearing whole energetic biofields, and the more people, even listening to the replay, will be able to tap into making this field stronger. And then the vital body and the physical body. So the power of biofeedback and energetic work is really, where we're starting to unleash what has been hidden from us for so long from the government. We're now starting to visibly see different tools that will be unleashed in the years ahead that help us quantify time, heal faster, and get clearer faster. So that's kind of what I wanted to share. And so basically what we're doing is we're taking the quantum biofeedback and it's serving as a tuning fork. It's like a tuning fork, sound therapy, acupressure, a hypnotherapist, and an acupuncturist all at once. Huge data of information. And then we're going to move it into an aura image as our first image. And then I'd like Annie to speak a little bit more about the consciousness challenge. So as we do, I'm just going to go ahead and bring us all back together. And before we jump into pulling in energy in the field, I'm going to ask everyone to go ahead and just bring your hands to your hearts. And my intention is for all of us to be present. All I ask of tonight, and if you're listening to the recording, is to really take the time and take the responsibility to be present with yourself. And also give everybody else the respect on the call to just take a moment so that we can all powerfully connect in the field and to each other. So go ahead and just bring your hand to your heart. Just start to sink back into. Just feel the essence of my love for you also holding you, as well as Annie's.
Kassandra, your voice goes out because of the music. If you could turn the music lower, perhaps, and then use your voice a little louder, your microphone will pick up better. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Okay. So just bringing your hands to your heart, just being present with yourself here now. As I tap into the field, just feeling the presence of all of you. And just feel perhaps the feeling of your heart beating, realizing that your heart is so powerful that energetic fields can stretch out 7 feet in front of you. And expanding that even further, perhaps you just notice now the rise and the fall of your lungs. Thinking your subconscious mind and your subconscious input that your body just runs on autopilot all day long, just being thankful for that. And just saying to yourself, I am here and it is good. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. And as you get ready to fully engage in this beautiful new moment, a new moment of a sense of peace, a shared awakening and connection together, just imagine you breathing in light through your heart. And now starting to attach to the field around you, within you. Imagine that you could send light to one person on this gathering. And now even sending light to everybody that is listening to the recording. And in your mind's eye, see that person light up and imagine yourself giving them a gift. See them giving and see yourself giving and getting that gift. See them getting that gift. And with your presence, your mind's eye, just say, I see you. I am so glad that you're here. And something amazing is about to happen. And now allow yourself to receive that light, knowing that others are holding that light for you, knowing that energy is reciprocal. Now imagine everyone on the pole. And even reach out again to those listening to the recording, chooses you. Chooses you, and we are all standing around you, sending you light and saying, I see you. I am so glad that you're here. And something amazing is about to happen. I'm beginning to see the whole group now in a wide circle, maybe holding hands, maybe just being able to really feel the power of the me shifting to the we in this circle. And begin to see and sense or feel that light is starting to move quickly and more kinetically behind your hands, behind your full energetic sense of force around you, moving from one person to the next, creating a powerful current of energy that connects all of us together now. And then let that light speed up. And let that light speed up in your mind's eye so fast, so rapidly, just as light does. And when light moves so fast, you start to see the ring of light. Seeing that kinetic energy now moving from you to the next person, everybody trusting the safety of this space, the safety rings that we are now holding in this intention. Good. And as we are now all connected, I ask for permission from Annie. I'm going to go ahead and speak the intention for tonight. And what I'm doing is I'm actually being a surrogate. And whether I'm with private clients or I do group coherence work, I can honestly tell you that doing energy work in the group biofield is so very powerful. So we're going to go ahead and tap into the intention for tonight's consciousness aspect. And I am going to speak it into my item here. And so eyes closed, just feel into this intention as I speak. I recognize in this now moment, I am creating the opportunity to observe that my situation is challenged with my consciousness and within my acceptance that I have a conflict with myself or others, but the opportunity for resolution opens. Now emancipation from my challenge ways of thinking is within my grasp. All right, Annie. So I'm going to let you share a little bit more about this specific note. And as you do, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our group fora and get us situated.
Excellent. Thank you. So when we talked about the different investor fears, the need to be right was a really significant one. And it's one of the first ones. And this fear creates essentially make wrong. And make wrong consciousness is one of the first fears that I ever talked about back in January or February. And it's on my YouTube channel. It's also a link in the Telegram channel. You can find it. It's also on QSI. The need to get it right and not be wrong goes all the way back to childhood, to infancy. We had, authority figures in our life that wanted us to get it right. They were our cheerleaders. They were our coaches. They were instructors, mentors. And unknowingly, this need to please people, need to get it right, need to be perfect, led to a multitude of other fears. And so with regards to, the investor situation, is that if we fear getting it wrong, then we set up a situation whereby we make ourselves toxic. Our thoughts become toxic. Our frequency becomes low. We become uncertain. We go into self-doubt, and we essentially cloud up our windshield and we lose clarity. And then we're unable to discern what the truth is, what our path is, what our real choices are for the life that we intend. And so the need to be right actually is working against us on so many levels. So when we tune into this, the clearing that we did started with, I acknowledge I have a conflict with the need to be right. Just say it if you're in a private space, or say it, inside your mind and inside your heart. I acknowledge I have a conflict with the need to be right consciousness and all the ways that I avoid, make wrong, and creating conflicts for myself, where someone has to point out that I got it wrong. I did it wrong. I heard it wrong. I saw it wrong. I, fill in the blank. We then acknowledge that all of this has been going on in our unconscious, and we just say, okay, I let all of that go from my conscious awareness. The more we connect with the ideas of how we went into make wrong and then our need to be right, we start to connect with our unconscious thoughts and recognize, oh my gosh, I have a lot of self-judgments around this. So then we go to the next step, which is I release my self-judgments, that I go powerless when someone points out to me that I did it wrong when I was trying to get it right. Because that's perfectionism, right? It's like a dart. We aim to hit the bullseye and get it right. And then when we don't, the number one person that we take it out on is ourselves with self-judgments. And so that is what I call self-make wrong. But no matter what the tapestry of fears is, it all comes back to this perfectionism model that I spoke about early on in this video. And it's a very important one to revisit because it has infiltrated every aspect of our life. So let's find some self-judgments around perfectionism and the need to be right, because it's tied to pleasing people. It's tied to fitting in. It's tied to our need to be superior because of how much we're paid in our job. Because we said we were the top, person because we got it right so many times. And now we live under a new stress of not getting it right. And then we may also have lording consciousness, where we lord it over others that we know it better than anyone else. And we don't mean to, but sometimes it's, our way of relating that communicates that, hey, I've had to get it right every single day of my life, that now I'm an expert. But it doesn't quite come across with the softness of our true nature of love. It comes across with some sort of an arrogance that, hey, I know this better than anybody, and I can't take your perspective on how to do it because I've been doing it right my whole life and it's got me where I'm at. So we may have an investment consciousness challenge that we have to overcome in order to let go this need to be right. Because what is on the other side of that coin? If I let go the need to be right, I have peace, don't I? I get to have peace because now I'm not trying hard. I'm not using push energy or force. I'm actually in grace. I'm in ease and flow because no matter what happens, I am going to be in self-love. I'm not going to judge myself. So we want to move out of those stressful states of needing to be right and move into those self-love states. So, all right, here are some typical self-judgments of need to be wrong. I release that I can't believe I did it wrong and got in trouble. I can't believe I missed the deadline and got penalized. I can't believe I forgot the answer. And I let all of that go from my conscious awareness. I let go my disbelief that I did not listen to my inner guidance when it was telling me I didn't have to be perfect. And I let that go. I'll tell you a story. There were times when I spent so much time, energy, and resources to get it right with perfection, when no one ever would have batted an eyelash at my efforts and thought about, whether I did it right or wrong. And yet I expended huge amounts of time, energy, and resources trying to be perfect. And it was uncalled for. So I let go of my self-judgment that I spent all this time, energy, and resource to get it right when it was not required and may have been unappreciated or not noticed. And see, when we dial in with surgical like precision into those judgments, suddenly other thoughts start popping like a popcorn popper, right? I recognized in me that, oh, then I had also this consciousness challenge called validation consciousness. Well, they didn't notice the time, energy, and effort I put into this to be perfect, right? And I ended up with demanding consciousness because no one appreciated my efforts and my time and my resources. So listen to your self judgments. They are the key to unlocking so much. It will blow your mind when you start going down, drilling deeper, deeper, deeper. You will hear in your mind everything that goes along with those other thoughts. So as I release all judgments from all angles, from all levels, on all perspectives of relating and from all dimensions of awareness, I release all the discordant energies and release the need to be right consciousness from my conscious awareness. And I proclaim myself sovereign, right? Now I'm free because I've explored what was in my unconscious mind around this very specific fear. And as I proclaim myself spiritually sovereign, I commit to taking interpersonal responsibility that if I ever find myself in a situation where I am thinking or expressing the need to be right, I get to catch myself and say, oh, look at me. I'm being so cute. I just went into the need to be right and be perfect and nail it. Then I'm going to let that go. And I'm going to be cute and funny about it so I don't go into self-judgments. All right. And then we just shine the light. We shine the truth of who we are, that we're free. And then other people don't have a magnetic connection to you when you're no longer expressing the need to be right. And Kassandra has brought up the group aura photo. So I am going to go quiet so she can explain this.
All right. I'm so happy that you can see this. You can see it, correct? Yeah. Great. I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, great. Okay. So, my friends, this is where it gets really juicy and really, really fun. Really, really fun. So, take what Annie just said. Take what Annie just said and know that this is a group coherence, and also know that you're in the mix of this powerful solution. Okay. So, when we look at our aura, I also placed it on the top of Annie's sheet. And so we'll take a look at it. We'll create a document, and it'll have a document that will be put in the channel as well as in the Alchemy in Action channel. But this is a beautiful starting aura. And this tells me about this community right off the bat. So what we look for in forums is, first and foremost, there's nothing wrong or bad, right or wrong about a fora. And anytime you go to a state fair and they say, pay us $80 and we'll give you a shot of your fora, save your investment money because your aura is always changing. Your aura is never staying the same, depending on who's around you, the intention, all of that. So when we look at this aura, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to slide in what we're picking up here. So on the top, you can see this bubble that is a little bit gray and hazy on the top. That is a notation of kind of outer force that's kind of oppressive on the outer and upper top, right? That outer regiment of that could be attached to, could be to ancestral, it could be to just the environment of the world right now is trying to dampen our parade, right? So when we look at the colors, we have a really beautiful fuchsia color of violet. And violet is going to be related to the crown. It's related to the pineal gland, the nervous system. And we have that indigo moving into the field. It's a good sign of healing. It's a sign of higher energy in our field. And so it's being present in the now and consciousness. And we have a little bit, you can't really see it, I can see it on my screen, is a little bit of yellow kind of in on the bottom and golden colors, which is the color of awakening and inspiration and higher intelligence. It also is connected to the liver and gallbladder and the solar chakra. So this is a really, really beautiful aura. As we move now into the database, what I want to free you up right now is the analytical mind and trying to figure out, well, how does this all work, right? So I can trust that you can see all the libraries. And if you can't, Annie, I'll just have you raise your hand if at any point. So we can look at a spiritual dynamic here. We can also look at vitamins and minerals to hormones to you name it. But we're going to keep it very topical each Sunday so that we can just dial into the emotional component. And then every single week, what I do is, for instance, the energetic body needs a stable, cohesive grounding, a ground base that it can really fulfill movement in. So every single week, I pull in all vitamins, all minerals, all neurotransmitters so that we make sure that we have this whole vibrational grounding to move the energy on. Otherwise, it doesn't quite stick. So you can see here, interesting, this is how we read the database. The database is ran on an algorithm that pulls in the healthiest state of all of these different elements in the database. Then what it's doing is it's taking our coherence and relating it to the discoherence and the unharmonized frequencies. So I've already done this, and what I do, and you're going to get these played through the week, is I bring them into this bottom holding tray here, and you can already see I've started working on us. And that is what I then play through the week to help clear and bring cohesion back into the community. So I've already pulled in the minerals. I've pulled in the herbs. Now our meridians is pulling in the small intestine, the lung, and the bladder. Now let's take the small intestine as an example. Meridian base and TCM base, the small intestine, could mean the physical realm where we have some digestive complications, or it can also mean small meridian, the small intestine, because that's where all of that type of unconscious things that we're moving through and thinking about and trying to regurgitate into our gut is possibly having a hard time disseminating it all and really working through all of it. So the small intestine of all those small decisions are being challenged. So that is that. So what I do then is I bring these elements into that tray. Now let's go ahead and look at the chakras. So the chakras that are being challenged, what you see on the red is going to be a high state of frequency. And what that means is that it's relevantly chronic and recent. When we look at the blue, it means that it's kind of a longer standing situation within that chakra. So those are the challenge chakras, which is the root chakra and the solar chakra. And if we go then to solfeggio tones, the 285 hertz is what's pulling up, which means expressing uniqueness. And what I also look for is the low frequency, and it's not blue, but it's under 200, which is at 101, which is returning to spiritual order. So when I say these out loud, connect to them individually and understand that it is also for the group. So dialing a little bit deeper into 285, how does expressing uniqueness, how does that connect to you? Do you feel like you're kind of oppressed from being able to say and do and be authentic in your life? And that's an invitation in. And the 285 frequency helps return tissue into its original form. It is an influence on the energy field, sending them the message of restructuring damaged organs. And it also leaves your body rejuvenated and energized. Now, if we look at the 852 hertz, it's used for awakening intuition. It is returning to spiritual order. And this frequency is helpful for piercing through the illusion in life. And isn't that interesting? What we started with here today is piercing through those illusions to the other side of creating what you love. So attached to that. It also is used to bring higher order, to open yourself up to divine communication, raises awareness, and allows you to return to a higher level of energetic functioning. So those are the solfeggio tones. So you may have heard of these solfeggio tones because if you go to YouTube, you can say, I want to sleep to 437 hertz. Here's the unique thing about biofeedback and what you're going to be blessed with is that root source in energy. So let's say you go to a YouTube channel and you're like, I want to feel happy. So I'm going to do the frequency of hertz for happiness. It's actually taking your energy, and sometimes there's sound waves and then there's waves that break things up to try to create cohesion and break through stagnant energy. You're brute forcing energy onto your system that may not be right and true for you. So when you're gathering here, what we're doing is we're using the perfect frequency for the perfect ordinance for the perfect time as we move through space and time versus going 10 miles wide and trying all these energetic things, but you're actually possibly creating more harm than good. So just trust that your body will take what it needs and it will not take in what it doesn't based on all of these frequencies. So now that we've put in kind of these fundamental bases, if you want to have fun, here's some essential oils. If you have any essential oils at home, black pepper and cinnamon bark and cardamom and cedarwood. What's unique about this collection here, my friends, and is intuitively as I jump into that, is that these unique essential oils are very grounding. So now I start to put the bigger picture together. What challenge did we have in our chakra? The grounding. So what it's doing now is it's pulling in the essential oils that are going to help with grounding. Oh my goodness. Sandalwood. Like I literally have a blend that I create that has all the grounding essential oils. And I put it on tonight to ground us all. And it's also putting in the tray. So that's really cool. All right. So let's see. We went through that. Bach flower remedy. So I'm going to go ahead and read these. And again, as I read them into the microphone, just go ahead and connect to what it means for you personally. Okay. So let's start with, let's see, sweet chestnut. So sweet chestnut in Bach flower remedies, which is so great because another one of the channels was just doing a special on Bach flower, is that Bach flower sweet chestnut is a deep sense of anxiety, like the deepest sense of anxiety that's held in the body, and feeling alone, feeling separated. I think we all can probably or have that in our own unique way, both collectively to the world, as also where we're at individually. So just honor that and just trust that this Bach flower remedy in this frequency through the week being played for you is connecting and helping you support that. Now, what's really also interesting is that Bach flowers don't just tell you what they mean and tell you how it's going to help you and what's wrong with you. So that's not it. It's very much higher connected again to all frequencies. So Bach flower remedy of sweet chestnut also helps your governing vessel, which is your main governing vessel of your meridians. It brings in the flower of life, the Fibonacci sequence, and the solar chakra. Isn't that interesting? The other chakra was the solar chakra. Now we're starting to see the bigger picture. So the other one is oak. And this one means when we feel weighed down by duty and we're ignoring our exhaustion, and we really shall let go and be in a place of surrendering. And as you take that in, it's connected to the kidney meridian, the solar chakra, again, 852 hertz, the toroids, which is one of the most powerful energetics. It's like, it's the swish of the water pole and this toroid of all of us connected. And the feeling of connection to the universe. Rescue remedy, if you guys can't kind of hint on what that one means. Rescue remedy, I don't have that one on my list, but in general, rescue remedy is going to be somewhat like the Star of Bethlehem. It's going to be in times of chronic stress where we need some first responders, in which you all are. You all are first responders. And so bring the rescue remedy with you this week as you move through the week. Now, when we look at the lower vibration, this is energy that's stagnant. This is energy that has been sitting in the field for some time. What we're going to do is we're just going to get a kick up. We're going to start to shift it and move it up so that we can bring balance and coherence back to it. And so Sploranthus is indecision. It is indecision as a result of the illusion that one decision could be right while the other one could be wrong. So start to think about the consciousness challenge now as we start to bring this together. Needing to be right and afraid to make a wrong decision. The, let's see, it's connected to the gallbladder, which is interesting because it's the gallbladder liver connection, which in TCM, Chinese medicine, that really is going to tell us that we need some clearance here. We need some connectivity. We need that file to open up so that we have the detoxification of whatever that anxiety is to force through the body. It's connected to the heart chakra and again, the flower of life. And then the last one is the centauri. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I don't need to be right. So we're just going to go with it. And this is finding balance in serving others, but also while first nourishing yourself. And it is, again, going back to the full circle and what came up in our meridian. It's connected to the stomach and the spine. So I just think that that's so beautiful and how that really connects to the current time situation. And also the intention that was popped into the field here tonight. Now, when we look at the emotions, what's unique about the emotions is that we don't want to look at these panels. This is another example of what Annie and what we're bringing to unconscious to the conscious, that we don't judge our emotions. I've had clients where anger comes up or fierce anger comes up, and they're like, well, I'm not angry. But we can see right away there's a block. But there may be some unconscious anger that's there that hasn't been able to float up because the trauma is trying to really suppress and protect itself. So just looking at these words doesn't mean judgment, but just attach to it and just trust that these emotions are going to start moving now and getting back into balance. And then last not least, I'm not going to go through over 300 libraries that I have. Everything from addiction, thought, being addicted to thoughts, meaning overgeneralization, meaning, oh, it's just, that's everything, where I'm always like that. It's a very passive way to be, right? To I'm not worthy. So let's go into, I'm going to go into my neural cohesion because I really believe that we really want to keep working in the stress fields Okay, so let's start neurocohesion fundamental fears. So as I say this, feel the vibration move through you, feel it through the energetic body of all of us, and just focusing on all of us freeing these fears, right? The energy in the biofeedback will do its work, but also by looking into and piercing through the illusion with biofeedback, it's like, when you go to a conference for nutrition, like your nutrition provider, and then all of a sudden you come back and you have like the latest supplement, so all your clients are getting the latest supplement. Biofeedback can't lie. I have no input. It's all reading us, so I can't lie. So I'm just saying. But fear of abandonment, clear, delete, dismiss. Fear of not being worthy, clear, delete, dismiss. Fear of not being lovable, clear, delete, dismiss. And at the bottom, we're going to move this energy up. Fear of not being enough, clear, delete, dismiss. Fear of not being free, clear, delete, dismiss. Fear of rejection and fear of not being supported, clear, delete, dismiss. Because you are fully supported here, my friends. When we go into different libraries, I will be working on you after this session, but you'll see here I'll be going into additional libraries. Here's one, for example. I am grounded fully in the present moment, and I am able to process. I'll go back to the meridian and the small intestine and all the digestive stuff. We're processing. Allow that to clear through. The nuclei of the amygdala are restored and nourished completely. And chestnut bud helps me to release my past and break old patterns. I am lovable. The root chakra is balanced and I feel safe and secure and connected to, again, going back into what we've already seen in the root chakra. Yeah, there was one piece here. I gotta find it. Oh, here we go. All right, ancestral patterns. Cheated, clear, delete, dismiss. Control, also attached to the consciousness challenge. Clear, delete, dismiss. Power, clear, delete, dismiss. Now, what's interesting about power is that doesn't need to be our consciousness. That can be that stagnant consciousness within the ancestral field that is trying to keep hold of our energetic session here or world. And then this is the last one I'll go through is the neurocohesion. So neurocohesion is looking at the whole 5 elemental bodies. And fear of loss, we're going to clear and delete, dismiss that. Core beliefs, I can never heal. We're going to clear, delete, and dismiss that. I can't discern between good and bad. Delete, dismiss. I am not safe. And you are safe here right now. Clear and delete, dismiss. I cannot handle problems. I am an angry person. I cannot express my emotion. I deserve pain and suffering, but I always have to sabotage myself. Clear all of those, dismiss them completely. Core beliefs. I'll have you just I'll say a couple of them. I can't be happy. I cannot have what I want. In low frequency, I never will be safe and I am not recognized. Fear of being abused, fear of punishment. Those are probably childhood wounds. Fear of not being lovable, childhood wounds. We're going really, really deep. So that's about as deep as I really wanted to take tonight is kind of that neurocoherence. Annie, I'm going to pass it over to you and just trust that I'm going to be going through all of the elements. I'm going to be filling this tray with all the goodness, and then we'll share the after aura. So I'm going to play these for just a short amount of time and allow you to speak up, or if anybody has questions while I start to play this. And then we'll get our after aura.
So I just want to let people know that your amygdala is in the limbic system, and it's right at the base of your skull. And that's where our critter brain, our ancient brain is, that's responsible for your survival. And it's from that root that we have all of our fears create this reactive mind or reactive motions in response to the stimulus before us. So that's great that this picked this up. And then also your gallbladder and your liver, they store anger, irritation, frustration, ire, upset if it doesn't get breathed out. So when you're angry and you recognize you're angry or you're irritated, label your emotions and breathe it out. Okay. You have to learn the self-love practices. It's fantastic that Kassandra is bringing this forward so that you can experience healing frequencies. But, 24/7, it comes back to you. And so it's good that you know to do this on an ongoing basis so that you keep yourself healthy. And this is a bridging tool. This is an amazing tool to give yourself a jump start and use it as, in collaboration with your conflict resolution clearings, because it's augmentative therapy. It's fantastic. So the other thing I want to share is that your kidneys, I noticed there was support for kidneys in this, just a brief mention, but our kidneys filter fear. And so the more fear we have, then our bladder is impacted as well. And that's the root chakra area that people talk about. Now, ultimately, we're supposed to unify our chakras into one beautiful energy source. And that comes as you begin to be more consciously aware that you are energy. And then you can begin to unify all of your chakras into one beautiful, unified self. And it's just amazing. I think it's a process and it's ongoing, but always have that just sort of in your awareness that this is what you're doing. And I personally believe that there was programming to keep our chakras separate so that we would feel disempowered, because all of those chakras unified is profound, really, truly profound and amazing. And so as we clear fear out of those chakras, they have a greater opportunity to unify with the one that's closest to it and bring things about. Your solar plexus area, everyone pretty much knows that's like where anxiety hits the most. And so it's really fantastic that those Bach flower remedies came forward too, because these are energetic remedies. They take the condensation off of a plant, a tree, a flower, and they capture it and they make like almost a homeopathic like tincture. And it's in like purified water, distilled water with like 1 drop of brandy as a preservative. And so these delicate remedies can move your energetic body so gently and help you release fears, release the discord, release habits. And, if you listen to this video again, you'll now go back and hear when Kassandra speaks about different remedies and the different organs and the chakras, you'll be able to put the story together a little more on a deeper level. Okay, anything else, Kassandra? Shall I stop? Back to you.
So awesome, hon. So this is so cool. I love to see kind of where, how it works as far as how we're shifting that frequency and that aura and the process that the body goes through. And such a beautiful comment on there, as far as connecting all the dots. And so as a practitioner, that's what I really look for is how are all these things combined? What is the bigger story? And, also what is the story of the bigger collective and consciousness? And so, when I think about this, we're really collapsing time and we're creating clarity in the energetic field. But then there's one last piece here I'm going to share so then we can actually put it into action and how we can start thinking about whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever you're investing in, whether you want to invest in a new husband, right? Like, I always laugh with my flames, but if you really, really want a new relationship in your life, how are you doing and being and having and acting right now so that you can bring that vibration, connect to him or her? So like literally I'll share this example. Like, are you cleaning your toilet at night? Because who wants to wake up to, pee on a toilet? And I say that jokingly, but how do you leave your kitchen at night when you go to bed? the way we are vibrationally, the way we think and connect to our future versus always thinking about what's wrong with us and problem solution. We want to create that creative tension in the field versus the problem resolving tension in the field. They're both. But what we want to do here on Sunday nights is really have you connect to your intention, we clear the intention of the unconsciousness and challenge, and then we just clear space through the week. So, Annie, if you want to go ahead and, well, I can do it. I think actually I have the same power as you. So I'll just share the screen. Here we are. Okay. So this is where we are at as far as our changing auras. So you can see the progression, and what you didn't see on my side is I can also go to another part of my tool is do some different frequencies, break through things, create more wave pattern coherence, and then prioritize the highest from the least of all the group bunches. So through the week, I just kind of dial that in. I play it 15 minutes a day, and it's moving the energy in the field. Okay, so you're going to be supported. The left is our first frequency. The middle is when we hit that play button right away and we start shifting the frequency. What's powerful about green is that bringing in just all the like rounded energies, the heart chakra, and it's a high sign healing. It's connected to the heart, the lungs, the healthy color of nature and self-love and compassion. Now, when I speak this, now go back to what you've heard me say. Allow your subconscious mind to attach to previous things that I said about trust and surrender. The emerald color of green is about the feeling of the heart, right? Connecting to that heart chakra. And then on the right, I played a few more seconds, and this is just for a pure example. We're continuing to shift and move that energy. So with that said, I am so thankful that you all could be here with us. There is and I'll leave it. I think Annie can put the link to the Alchemy in Action channel. And what we'll do is we'll probably kind of stay on the leap of consciousness, and then we'll shift these sessions into the Alchemy in Action channel. There is a Discord channel. I kind of like to play it safe. So I have a creator coin that is launched on the blockchain. Everybody can get a free coin if you want, but that's not what this is about. But the Discord channel has a document that walks you through, and I'll give you a quick example. A rose, what I call the rosebud thorn. And this PDF, Annie, can you say that? Just give me a thumbs up. Great. So this PDF, my friend, I am a multi-hyphenate entrepreneur, and I know that you are just as driven as me. So this is not about absorbing more information. You are going to absorb a lot of love and a lot of harmonizing. But this is for you now to take what became unconscious into the conscious and plan your week ahead. So every Sunday, the co-responsibility with each other is pierce the illusion, allow yourself to be supported, and start to focus on the roads. What was my big win for the week? Celebrate that. The thorn, like what is the challenge I experienced that I would appreciate support with? Number one, you're getting support by coming and being held by the frequencies. And number two is self-expression and being able to use your throat chakra and your voice to yourself first, and then asking for support around you and what you're creating. And then the but, what is that one vibrant thing, that one thing that you can do to make this bigger, broader plan flourish? So what is that one thing you will take action on this week? So again, what was my big win? What did I overcome? Whatever that is, the smallest detail. The thorn, what do I need support with? And then the but, what is my one focus for the week? You can find this, and there's some other support documents and past episodes to See Your Success podcast, where it has a lot of talk about frequency and energetic cohesion, and the interview with the owner of the group of this program and whatnot. So that was the last piece I wanted to bring. And then Annie can just drop that link in the Discord channel. I don't know if Annie, maybe you want to do that now. I can drag it and put it at the top of the document if you want to drop that in there, just so that people have it. And then, when you the Discord channel, just know that it's a tokenized community. Just verify yourself. If you want a free seed coin, you can, drop your address or whatever, but that's not why we're doing it. So these are the two.
Kassandra, do you want me to share this document on the Leap of Consciousness channel? Because I can just grab it from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can put it on your channel as well.
Yeah, we can kind of just take some of the fluff off of it. And then, Annie, if you want to just drop this link from the top that I just placed, and the link to the Telegram channel as well. And then that way I can put the resources in there as well, so that we can put one channel for all of the resources or things that we can share in the through the week. And feel free, share in that channel. How is your week going? How are you feeling? Anything shifting and changing for you? Sharing with others really helps prime the unconscious mind and make it more salient in your life. And speak about it and share about it and share that, what you're going through. So awesome. And so going back to as Annie is doing that, I just want to share my love for Annie because she has become just a dear friend, and how powerful this woman is it's so awesome to be able to work with her. And I want to share that each and every one of you on this call are just as powerful as Annie, just as powerful as the next person next to you. Because when I look at all of us on this call, we are called to leadership. And so as I say that, go ahead and bring your hands back to your heart. I know that as you close your eyes, this time together is sacred. This is what it means to use the latest technology, that use it to the human benefit for the creation of whole. Technology is going to change our lives, my friends. The blockchain and bringing light to the forces that had evil oppressing all of us. We are the answer. You know that. And so now we get to step even further higher up into leadership. And with the support of these frequencies through the week and everything that was brought from the unconscious conscious, you've already started shifting your energy. And it is infinite, and you are infinite. And so as you bring your hands to your heart, just feel your heart beating one last time, being thankful for your beautiful automation of your body, knowing that your unconscious mind is already unwinding old patterns. And as you bring your hands from your heart, I want you to go ahead and bring whatever hand is most dominant to the back of your head, and just hold the back part of your head and bring your left hand or right hand to the front of your forebrain. And we're just doing an occipital hold here because we're locking in everything that was spoken into the field and the safety and love in this group. Now just feel how natural it is to grab whatever dominant hand it is, and then feel kind of how unnatural it is, but how beautiful it is and balanced to now take that opposite hand and switch the other one from the front of the brain and the other hand to the back and folding the head in that occipital hold. Just feeling the power of your frequency, just feeling the power of all of this coming through, and that you'll be supported through the week. And at any point in time, you want to come back to this moment and feeling held by your own energy and the group from Annie and myself. Just bring your hands to your heart, bring your hands into this occipital hole. And neurobiologically, energetically, is going to shift that amygdala state into coherence. Good. And bring your hands back to your heart. And just coming back here with me, opening your eyes. And thank you. That is the end of our session. We said we would do 45 minutes. I knew this would run a little bit over, but in the future, we're going to focus on doing 30, 40-minute sessions where we want to pop resistance, we want to clear the field, and we want to go back to our evening. These sessions are meant to be precise for you to get clear on your week and then shift and clear the energy and be supported through the week. And that's it, my friend. Thank you so much.
I'm going to stop the recording. Just give me a moment.